Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become. Hello and welcome to Wednesday in the Wild. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see that we are hanging out in my living room today. And I think that the way that this episode is coming together is simply perfect for what I want to chat about with you today. And that is resistance. I have been feeling an incredible amount of resistance in my life over the last few days. And as I have taken the time to slow down and really look into this resistance, it has come to me as the perfect topic for today's episode. So, we are chatting about resistance. And when I think about resistance, I experience in my head like trying to move a table that is on casters or a shelf or something like that. It has wheels. It can be moved easily. That is an option. However, when the wheels are locked and you try to move it, it's difficult, right? You've got this resistance. You can't just effortlessly push it across the room or wherever because the wheels are locked. And so you have this resistance. And so the most interesting resistance to me when I experience it in my life is when I know that this can be done easily. I've done it easily before. I know that this can be easier, but for whatever reason, the wheels are locked. And sometimes I don't bother with the wheels at all. And I just, figuratively, I just push through whatever it is I'm feeling resistance around. I just do what needs to be done. I just get it done and move on, right? But when I feel resistance over and over and over again, like I have been these last several days, I really have to slow down and take the time to look into what the resistance is all about. Because here's what resistance is to me when it shows up in my life. Resistance is an indicator. It's telling me that something is off, that my beliefs might not be in line with where I want them to be. It might mean that I'm ignoring something that I need or that I want. It's an indicator that there's some underlying something that I need to give love and attention to. So when you experience resistance in your life, when you know that the thing can be done easily, it can be moved easily, it can be dealt with easily, and it's not, and you're experiencing this inner resistance, I invite you to slow down and ask yourself, what is this resistance about specifically? Try to get as specific as you can about what it is you are resisting. And sometimes it feels like, well, I'm resisting like absolutely everything. Like I don't want to do anything. I'm just I'm just not interested. But if you can start broad if you want, but try to get as specific as possible about what you are resisting because likely there are things in your life that you aren't resisting. Like maybe you're not resisting some of the normal things that you do. Like, I don't have resistance, even though I'm experiencing a lot of resistance right now. I don't have resistance about going to pick up the kids from school, and I don't have resistance about, I don't know. There's got to be something else, right? But I'm feeling resistance around a lot of other things. But it's about an aspect of those things that I am resisting. It's not necessarily about the thing itself. So if you can get specific about what it is you're resisting, then you can ask yourself why you're resisting it. What is the reason for this? If this could be an indicator, what is it trying to tell you? Sometimes for me, This means that I'm ignoring something that I need. Maybe I've been pushing too hard or working too hard and I need rest. Maybe I need to do something really fun. Yesterday, when I kind of went up to Jake and I was like, "I'm really resisting, this thing that I've gotta do." And he's like, "Well, what would you like to do instead?" And because I had done this work already, I told him, I was like, "I just wanna play video games. Like, I just wanna sit down and sit in bed and play on the Switch. That is what I actually want." And I still had to do the things that I had to do, but when that was done, it was like, "Okay, now I'm gonna sit down and play some video games," because that's just I need this release, I need this fun, I need this. And sometimes we ignore it. We think that having that rest or having that fun is not necessary, or maybe it feels frivolous or whatever. But if you don't give yourself the outlets that you need, you'll experience even more resistance and it will just build up and honestly get worse. So sometimes you're ignoring something, that you're not taking care of yourself in a way that your body wants you to, or the way that your mind wants you to, or your emotions, maybe you're not getting the exercise that you need, or the nutrition that you need, or the rest, or the fun. So maybe there's something there that you're ignoring. Another reason why I experience resistance is if I look at it and I'm like, why am I resisting this thing? I have to take it one level deeper and ask myself, what am I believing about this thing? I had this client project that as soon as I got it, I immediately resisted it. I was like, I know enough about this that I believe this is going to be hard and this is going to be complicated and it's going to be not fun. And that's what I was believing. And so I set this client project aside for a few days because I was resisting it, until I finally looked at the resistance and was like, what am I believing about this? Like, what if it's not hard? What if it's actually fun? What if I actually enjoy it? What if and I opened that door to the possibilities and was like, okay, well, let's just see. Let's just dig into this project and let's just see what the actual experience is. And the interesting thing is that when I dug into it, I was like, this isn't actually hard. And actually, I am kind of having fun. And, you know, what I was believing wasn't actually the real truth. So the resistance was an indicator of a belief that wasn't actually true to begin with, but the resistance was enough to keep me from digging into it for a few days. So I thought it was going to be hard or that it wasn't going to be fun. But sometimes resistance shows up when we feel like we don't want to do, or we don't know what we're going to do, when we don't know how to do it, or we don't know how it's going to work out, or there's just something about it that we just don't know, that we resist even engaging in the thing because we feel like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know. The thing about that is that when we get started, when we start engaging, we tend to figure out either exactly what we don't know so that we can find answers or solutions to it, because we start off with this like amorphous, broad, I don't know. Or we realize that we actually do know more than we are currently giving ourselves credit for. And then, but the thing is that you have to get started. You have to get engaged in it. You have to move into it first. So resistance can really just stop you. It can stop you from engaging. It can stop you from trying. It can stop you from doing the thing that you know you need to do or the thing that you want to do, but it's an indicator for something else. The resistance itself it's not actually in your way. It's indicating what is. So maybe you need to rest. Maybe you have some underlying beliefs about it being hard or that you don't know what to do, and you actually need to investigate those beliefs and you actually need to spend some time on it. And the best way to start engaging in that way when you're experiencing resistance, at least my favorite way, maybe it's not the best way, but it's my favorite way, is to set a timer. So I'm going to engage with this. I'm going to start on this. I'm going to look into this for 10 minutes. I'm going to give it 10 minutes. And then after that 10 minutes, then I'm going to do something that I actually want to do, or I'm going to take a break, or I'm going to play a game, or I'm going to whatever. I'm going to move on, but I'm going to give myself these 10 minutes to actually look into this thing to see if I can release the break and release that resistance. It might still be tricky, it might still be effort, it might still be hard, but it can feel easier if you remove the resistance first. If you're going to move a table that is on wheels, then release the brakes, right? So look into it, release the brakes, and then move the table. One other thing I will offer when you're dealing with resistance is don't make it harder, right? So today, as I was feeling resistance around a lot of things, I knew that I needed to record the Wednesday in the Wild podcast episode. I knew that was something that needed to be done today. But I didn't make it harder on myself by being like, okay, well, I need to, you know, get like all sorts of ready, and I need to go somewhere really inspiring, and I need to do this and I need to do that and whatever. The Wednesday in the Wild episode is supposed to be more raw and more real. And this is where I'm at today. This is, hair in a top knot, wearing a sweater. This is where I'm at today in the experience of working on my resistance, removing it, and sometimes working through it, because sometimes resistance shows up because we simply don't want to do something and we have to anyway. And while you can change your perspective on doing the things so that you can lessen that resistance, sometimes you do just have to push through. And that's just that. But I think that that is more rare than we allow it to be in our lives. I think that can be an exception rather than the rule if we go through the process of exploring what that indicator means and then solving for the underlying problem. And once you do that, then the resistance will dissipate, or it will lessen or lighten greatly. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today on Wednesday in the Wild on the Breakthrough Mode podcast here in my living room today. I totally love you. Bye for now.